Welcome to This Explainer. Look, we live in a world where global crises, major breaking news, and massive events are literally unfolding on our screens 24/7. Honestly, it can feel completely overwhelming. But what if I told you that you actually have the power to make sense of it all? What if you could take this endless stream of public data floating around the internet and use it to uncover the actual reality of what's happening? Today, we're setting the stage for a really fascinating dive into how exactly we can do that. We're going to demystify a concept that is absolutely changing the way we understand the world.
Okay, let's dive right into this with part one, the modern investigator.
So, think about what comes to mind when you picture an intelligence analyst. You're probably picturing, dark rooms, secret files, classified briefings, right? But let me ask you a direct question. Do you actually need to be a journalist or some highly trained intelligence officer to truly understand what's happening during a global crisis? Like, do you need a badge or a top secret security clearance to uncover the truth of a geopolitical event? It's a super fair assumption to make because for decades that was absolutely the case. The flow of information was heavily restricted.
But the answer today? It's a resounding not necessarily. And guys, this is a massive paradigm shift. Today, an absolutely enormous amount of information is publicly available online for anyone, and I literally mean anyone. The smartphone sitting right there in your pocket has access to the exact same raw data as a top-tier investigative journalist. The key isn't having access to some secret vault. The key is knowing what to do with the information that is sitting right out in the open. Because when this public data is properly collected, rigorously verified, and carefully compared, it can provide a remarkable, highly accurate picture of events unfolding anywhere in the world. The secrets really aren't hidden anymore. They're just waiting to be pieced together.
I want you to start thinking of yourself as a digital investigator. This whole field of study is known as OSINT, which stands for Open Source Intelligence. Basically, OSINT involves taking that massive ocean of publicly available information and actively analyzing it. We aren't just passively consuming news anymore, we're practicing actual intelligence gathering. By doing this, we bypass all the noise and construct a remarkable, fact-based picture of unfolding global events. You're literally turning the everyday internet into a highly sophisticated intelligence tool.
Which brings us to part two, the digital toolkit.
So, what exactly are our tools? Well, if you crack open this digital toolkit, you'll find a total goldmine of publicly available data sources. We're talking satellite imagery, social media videos captured by people right there on the ground, raw flight data, deep geographic information, standard public documents, and of course traditional news reports. Now, these aren't just separate websites to visit, right? Think of them as individual pieces of evidence. Let's break down how an analyst actually uses some of these specific tools out in the field.
Imagine looking at a location from space. An OSINT analyst doesn't just glance at a single picture. They compare satellite imagery over time. By looking at an image of a location from yesterday and comparing it to an image from, say, a month ago, you can spot very specific visible changes, like are there new structures being built in a conflict zone? Has Earth been moved to create a brand new airstrip? You are literally watching the physical world change right from your computer screen.
Next up, look at the sky above us. You can actually examine publicly available flight data. By analyzing this stuff, investigators can identify sudden changes in flight routes or weird spikes in air activity. Tracking a private jet's public route or a sudden wave of military transport flights can reveal hidden global movements and logistical shifts that, no one is officially announcing, but they're completely visible if you just know how to look at the data.
Then we have the boots-on-the-ground perspective, social media. Now, the internet is obviously flooded with videos, but an OSINT analyst doesn't just watch a video to see what happens. They actively analyze it for hard data. They scrub through online clips performing what's called geolocation, basically looking for hidden clues that confirm the time, the precise location, and visible background details. The angle of a shadow, the text on a random storefront, the weather. All of these are data points that can be extracted from a simple 10-second clip posted online.
Finally, a massive part of this toolkit is cross-referencing. You take geographic data and imagery and you cross-reference them. You compare reports from entirely different media outlets. Why? Because comparing them helps expose inconsistencies. If 3 outlets say one thing, but the geographic data and a 4th outlet shows something totally different, you've found a thread to pull. You're looking for those common points and glaring contradictions to figure out what is actually true.
But hold on, let's slow down for part 3, the golden rule.
Now, take a breath here because all of these amazing tools are incredibly dangerous if you forget one major plot twist.
The internet lies constantly. So the crucial point is that OSINT absolutely does not mean believing everything you see. Actually, it's quite the opposite. If you're just believing whatever you scroll past, you're a passive consumer completely vulnerable to deception. Being a real OSINT analyst requires rigorous verification and deep, deep skepticism. A major part, maybe even the biggest part, of open source intelligence is verification.
Let's look at the traps on this digital battlefield. These are the pitfalls that catch everyday internet users all the time. An image claiming to be from a breaking crisis today, it might actually be years old. A dramatic video going super viral might have been recorded in an entirely different country. There are entire accounts dedicated to actively spreading false information. And here's one of the trickiest traps of all: circular reporting. This is when several seemingly independent sources all report the exact same fact, making it look incredibly robust and verified. But ultimately, they're all just falling for the exact same flawed original source. It creates a really powerful illusion of truth.
Let's move to our checklist and see how this builds our defense against those exact traps. When confronted with literally any piece of information, an OSINT analyst constantly asks, who actually published this? Where is the original source? Can a genuinely independent party verify it? And crucially, what remains unknown? This is the rigorous, step-by-step process of questioning absolutely everything before accepting it as intelligence.
And that brings us to our final section, Part 4, Connecting the Dots.
Once we've gathered our data and rigorously subjected it to our checklist, how do we actually solve the mystery? Well, the true power of OSINT isn't found in a single clue. You're not going to find one magical satellite image or one perfect post that explains an entire global crisis. The real power comes from taking hundreds of seemingly unrelated pieces of information, a flight log here, a shadow in a video there, a local news report over there, and turning them into a meaningful picture. It's like a giant puzzle. You're piecing it all together to reveal a reality that no single piece of data could ever show on its own.
So, we arrive at the ultimate challenge. In the age of the internet, part of the world's information battlefield is totally visible to everyone. It's on your phone right now, it's on your laptop. The question is no longer whether the information exists out there in the ether. The real question is, do you have the discipline to find it, the skepticism to verify it, and the skill to turn thousands of scattered data points into a coherent understanding of reality?
I want to leave you with this final, powerful thought. This quote right here is the true essence of OSINT. It is the exact point where the internet stops being just a passive source of news that washes over you and instead becomes an active, vital field of investigation. You've got the tools, you know the traps, and you understand the golden rule of verification. So the next time a global crisis breaks out on your timeline, will you just keep scrolling? Or will you start investigating? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.